Shy Neighbours by Charles Dickens. Narrated by David McCran. So much of my travelling is done on foot that if I cherished betting propensities, I should probably be found registered in sporting newspapers under some such title as the Elastic Novice, challenging all 11-stone mankind to competition in walking. My last special feat was turning out of bed at 2 after a hard day, pedestrian and otherwise, and walking 30 miles into the country to breakfast. The road was so lonely in the night that I fell asleep to the monotonous sound of my own feet doing their regular 4 miles an hour. Mile after mile I walked, without the slightest sense of exertion, dozing heavily and dreaming constantly. It was only when I made a stumble, like a drunken man, or struck out into the road to avoid a horseman close upon me on the path, who had no existence, that I came to myself and looked about. The day broke mistily. It was autumn time, and I could not disembarrass myself of the idea that I had to climb those heights and banks of cloud, and that there was an alpine convent somewhere behind the sun where I was going to breakfast. This sleepy notion was so much stronger than such substantial objects as villages and haystacks, that, after the sun was up and bright, and when I was sufficiently awake to have a sense of pleasure in the prospect, I still occasionally caught myself looking about for wooden arms to point the right track up the mountain, and wondering there was no snow yet. It is a curiosity of broken sleep that I made immense quantities of verses on that pedestrian occasion. Of course, I never make any when I am in my right senses, and that I spoke a certain language once pretty familiar to me, but which I have nearly forgotten from disuse, with fluency. Of both these phenomena I have such frequent experience in the state between sleeping and waking, that I sometimes argue with myself that I know I cannot be awake, for, if I were, I should not be half so ready. The readiness is not imaginary, because I often recall long strings of the verses and many turns of the fluent speech after I am broad awake. My walking is of 2 kinds. 1, straight on end to a definite goal at a round pace. 1, objectless, loitering and purely vagabond. In the latter state, no gypsy on earth is a greater vagabond than myself. It is so natural to me, and strong with me, that I think I must be a descendant, at no great distance.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?